Ulysses is here!
Yeah, for the segment.
Cat.
Show and sell.
Hello and welcome to Show and Sell, the show that celebrates digging through other people's trash. Hello, Trash Dragons. I am Chris. I'm Trash Dragon of the West, currently in the Trash Dragon of the Midwest. And Joe Slide Whistle also said to me that you should like, share, subscribe, and also, yes, thank you. You need like a talking box, like Peter Frampton. But I also sell on eBay and Discogs, mostly media.
And I'm Katie, and I'm Trash Dragon of the South, and I sell clothing and accessories. But I'm always on the hunt for things that are sparkly, unique, and it's October, which means spooky season. Of scary stuff. Scary stuff.
And I'm Joe. I'm the Trash Dragon of the East, and apologies to former guest David Rees, whose slide whistlery is far superior to mine.
Howlin' Mad Joe.
And I'm the Trash Dragon of the East, and I like to buy lots of stuff. Like I just like to buy big lots of like a box of door handles, whatever. I love it.
And who do you got there?
I have and this is Francis M. Derg. Francis likes to buy bowls of tender turkey stew, and also his gingerbread toy. Those are his likes.
Those are pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah.
He has a squeaky.
That sounds like a dating profile for Francis. That's good.
Fuzzy, somewhat dry-tongued ladies. But I'm gonna show this. It's a little bowl that my mom bought at my parents' house. It says "You are amazing," and my immediate reaction was,
Wow.
but that's actually progress. I used to be like, I don't know if that's true, but now I'm like, maybe. So it's therapy. You guys have any updates, or should we just move to the thing that brought you joy?
The thing that brought you joy.
All right,
Joy.
Thing that brought you joy. We're gonna flip the script a little bit because I like doing that. So I'm at my folks' house, and this is this is kind of more of a memory item. I bought. So this is the best chicken recipes by Cooks Illustrated. And I'm just kind of bringing this out just because my mom turned me on to Cooks Illustrated many years ago.
Cooks Illustrated.
Yeah, so it's a cooking magazine that's monthly. They have a TV show called America's Test Kitchen. And so what they would do is, instead of doing all these, like having 100 recipes in one magazine, they would have like 10. But what they would do is say, like, all right, I'm going to make gumbo, something that you guys know I like. And they would try to figure out what they want out of the gumbo. They want it to be thick, thickened by roux, with a nutty brown flavor, with a lot of sausage, a lot of chicken. They're going for a specific thing, and then they try to figure out how to best do that. So, for instance, instead of I think one of the tricks that they use for the gumbo recipe is that you basically cook the flour in the oven, so the flour browns and makes it kind of nutty. So because roux can take a while to make, especially if you have a lot of flour. And it's
any kind of flour or specialty flour.
I mean, you use like all-purpose flour classically, but you can use I've used gluten-free flour and homemade mixes in the past, and it works out fine. Anyway, Cooks Illustrated was something that I lived and died for years. It was just like, if you wanted to make the best pancakes, they would say they would test and do all manner of things.
And this is the one.
Yeah, and that was I kind of fell out of because my palate expanded, and they tend to do like very Midwestern-y comfort cooking. Every episode,
Delicious.
every issue says like a roast or a big slab of meat essentially, but they have a new version called Milk Street, which is
Called Milk Stream?
Milk Street, like a street boulevard, Milk Boulevard. But it's Milk Street that has a lot of international recipes, but they apply, I think, the same process to it, where they're like try to figure out what they want out of this recipe, and then scientifically go after the best version of it by testing 20 different types of this, a million like different techniques, and so it's a very scientific approach to cooking rather than the kind of grandma passed down recipes. So, Katie, why don't you go?
Okay. Well, I'm cheating because our Unearthed Treasure theme today is very broad and something I have a lot of. So I'm going to show another one by item of joy.
Spoiler alert,
Because,
if you don't want to be spoiler on what the Unearthed Treasure is.
I happen to have some very, very cool cat belts that I'd like to show off.
Of course you would. So this is also Cat Part 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is Cat Part 2, I think.
This is something you requested specifically.
I'm sure it is. I would like to also request a Cat Part 3. Have I shown this lovely cat belt before? Because this is my favorite.
That is awesome.
It is very, very cool. This was an LA Bins find. I cannot even read at all. It's something fancy and it's old and the leather is very soft, but the brass is very heavy. So this is like a pretty heavy double metal piece. I love it. I'm never getting rid of it. I'm so sorry this will not be for sale, but this little one might be. I did manage to get my hands on a very cool little belt buckle.
Oh, wow.
It's also brass that I really like. I like him. I don't know why he has diamond eyes, which makes him, you look a little cheap. He's not cheap. He's
it's not real. It's not real diamond, is what you're saying.
It is not. To my untrained eye, this is a faux diamond.
Okay.
This would be called a rhinestone. Okay. But he's really cute and he's a good little buckle. So
that's great.
I might be getting him a good belt buddy.
Does he have little whiskers?
He's got little tiny holes where his... Oh. Yeah, he's pretty good. I just don't know why they did the diamond eyes. You didn't need it. Yeah. You didn't need the diamonds. They
should have been rubies, like so when you like.
Yeah, right. Something,
when you see them in the dark.
Just like nothing, just black. I don't know. I
just
don't know why. I don't know. He's still a good boy. That's it.
Yeah. Shark eyes. So Joe, why don't you go?
Okay, so this is going to be. I'll give it a little setup, and then we'll throw to a pre-recorded video, or in this case, a post-recorded video that I'm going to record afterwards. But about 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to pick up some free stuff. They were just looking to get rid of a bunch of stuff at this apartment in Manhattan. It was a woman who named Evelyn Dates who ran the Whitkin Gallery, and that which was a big photography gallery.
The Whitkin Gallery?
Yes.
Whitkin?
Whitkin. Whitkin.
Okay, not Wiccan, as in the witches.
Oh, no, not as in the religion. Whitkin, as in the the surname. So anyway,
you'll have to learn your supernatural powers elsewhere, Katie.
Okay.
So they were just like her stuff had to be like they had to get as much stuff out of her apartment as possible. So I was just given sort of free reign. I hired some people and rented a truck and tried to take as much out of it as possible. And that included some bookshelves that I had no use for, but I was like, well, I'm going to try to get it out of here. Maybe I'll be able to find a use for it. And lo and behold, I want to show you this. After years of planning, we finally present to you the Garden Family Comics Library. Yes, 4 shelves, almost packed, not quite, there's a little gap there, of comics. It includes, look at all these mads. Oh my gosh. We have some great floppies. That's what they call comics now. some anthologies, horror anthologies, some Wonder Woman. We got some Plastic Man. We've got some Saga, Demon, Jeff Smith's Bone. We have look at all of these. Bill Keene's Good Lord, The Family Circus Knows No Bounds, Zippy, Junji Ito, Mara Naomi, well represented. Grant Morrison, Mads Don Martin, some Moomin. And where's the Wirtz? Where's our old pal Wirtz? Quick addition: we did find our old pal Wirtz. We have multiple Wirtz books. I just somehow missed up. Okay, thanks. Bye.
So, wow. What was like?
I think they're really cool. I would like to I would like to know what it's like getting bookshelves or any kind of furniture to a truck in Manhattan. Go.
$150 ticket because I was parked too close to the crosswalk the crosswalk. I had to. I mean, we basically just had to stage everything. We had to pull out as much stuff as we could, stage everything downstairs, and then move the truck back in to load it up as fast as possible. And the thing is, when you're driving a truck, I mean, for me personally, when I'm driving it, if I drive a truck or van in Manhattan, you either leave before 2:00, like by 2:00, or after 6:00, because any other time is going to add like a half an hour to an hour to your trip. Sitting there, just like in traffic. I have had to pee in a bottle before while stuck in traffic like that, and I vowed never again.
All right, we are going to move on to our next segment, which is Unearthed Treasure.
Unearthed Treasure.
All right, Unearthed Treasure. Our topic is Katie, cats. Joe, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, at the risk of being the weird art guy, I just want to show something. I got this as a part of a box lot. It was just a bunch of like random stuff that included this little painting, and I showed it to Hannah, and she gravitated toward it and really loved it. And so it folded it in. It's just a little postcard size, like outsider art drawing, painting of a cat. And it's just like, it's great oil on board or maybe acrylic on board. It's got very little detail, and I love it. It's just it looks better than I could do, but it also still looks kind of crazy. So
it's a little weird. Yeah, it's all good. That is wonderful.
One of the things I gave our mutual friend Rami is a butter duck, and I'll post it here. And it was just something I found on the street, and it's a big round duck holding what looks like a butter knife. At least I called. I'm like, do you want this? And she was like, yes. So it's in our house as we speak.
A butter duck. That's amazing.
So, but that's pretty. I love like cute, weird outsider art like that. Like,
yeah, it's the best, especially when it's original. It's not like it's just someone did it. There it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I still can't believe that Nick Brewer found that piece of art that he showed us with the like flying Pegasus unicorns and the baby on the beach wearing a diaper. And it's just like, and he's like, yeah, you see the brushstrokes and everything. I'm like, that is crazy. I love
that. Is crazy.
See episode number 42. 42?
No.
41.
We'll put it in the notes.
See the episode below.
Go back and watch all our episodes in reverse order.
Click here.
So
plump up our numbers.
Plump them.
There you go.
All right, plumpers. Katie, go ahead.
Yeah, this is my favorite category because I have a lot of stuff, a lot to choose from. So I've chosen because it's fall. This is something. Now I tracked this down. This is more collector than a find, but it's still a find. But I had to hunt for it. So there is a company called Unearthed. You might remember them from the early 2000s. They made a bunch of very funny shirts that were very clever puns. And this girl really likes a pun. And so they also made some bomber jackets, one of which is this one. And you can see
Oh,
the little cat paws, and it says
Oh,
UNIF. And this is
are,
the brand. You might recognize it. It's a little triangle with the circle.
are the
And the
cats doing
back,
the pray hands? Is that what's
yeah,
happening?
because the back,
what?
it's all embroidered, and it says "Do cats pray?" And
Oh
he's
my
got his little
god!
face. He's beautiful. You can see why I tracked it down because I
Yeah,
saw that this existed, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna find it."
Here's the next 3 weeks of my life.
Yeah, here's how we're doing this. I ended up finding it on eBay. It was an eBay buy, and I got a good deal for what it's worth, but it is one of those things that just keeps going up.
Mm.
Eventually, I will let it go, but I actually wear it. It is my like fall time bomber jacket because it's good. It's got some padding, but it is one of my best cat articles of
That's
clothing.
pretty good.
And I think it's a little offensive to people here in Tennessee. I'm not sure. I don't mind. Because you're going to get mad at that? You're not going to get
Yeah.
mad at that. They might
Yeah.
pray. You don't know.
Yeah, you
I mean,
know, you hate that cat found Jesus?
Yeah, you hate that cat for some reason? That it's
There's-
going to Sunday school? No.
There's
Anyways.
Nazis hanging around in Nashville. You want to get offended about praying cats? Get the F out of here, you
That's
crazy.
exactly right. And that's what I'll say. Thank you for reminding me of that.
But my item is related to something I brought before, probably for Cat's number one. Cat's number one item was the Catwoman DVD. Like that was that promo. Like it had pictures of behind the scenes and was to give a journalists who were covering the movie.
A press kit.
Press kit.
EPK, electronic press kit.
So what I found a bunch of novelizations, including this one.
Oh my god!
The Catwoman novelization,
You just can't throw a stone in Los Angeles without finding some Catwoman stuff, can you?
Not me.
Wow.
It's just. I mean, I haven't really read through it. It's just.
Are they sensual? Is it a sensual?
What is?
Sensual, is it?
I haven't really read it, but they do have little every.
Can you
chapter.
please read it?
I can. Let me see if I can read it for next episode.
Chapter by chapter, it'll be a special bonus treat.
Oh, Patreon. Here we go.
Yeah,
Patreon is the reading of the. What's the name of the book? What's the name in this series? Catwoman does something.
Catwoman. Yeah.
Is it just a novelization of the movie, though, or is it?
Yeah. It's just like.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, this wasn't this wasn't D.H. Lawrence's Catwoman.
I thought it was like fan fiction. I thought someone had done like a series of like Catwoman.
Like there's like all the Star Wars novelizations out
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
The Catwoman story must be continued.
Yeah.
They were going to do
Catwoman rides again. Catwoman, I don't know. Whips him into shape with something.
The funniest thing about Battlefield Earth was that they were like, when they put the press out for the first movie, they were clearly convinced that it was going to be a hit, and they were like, "Here's all the plans for Battlefield Earth 2."
Oh no!
You haven't seen the final cut, my friend.
Although, just do Battlefield Earth 2. Just do it. Just make it.
Just us.
Go for it.
All right, man animals. All right. So who has to go?
We've all gone.
Oh, we've all gone. Excellent.
So it's time.
So now it's time for. Hey, wait. Is it time for? Is it time for? Tales from the Flypt.
Tales from the Flypt. Tales from the Flypt.
All right, Tales from the Flypt. The question is, when you're out searching for things, do you use your head or your gut? Instinct versus intellect. Why don't I go?
Yeah.
I would say, I suspect the answer is kind of both, but I feel like my gut has gotten sharper the more I've done it. I can, because I kind of started doing this sort of later in life, I was always looking around for things, but never for monetary value. And so I think when I first started around, I'd be like finding $10 to $20 items. But if I found a $50 item, my heart would be racing, and it'd be like, I have to leave now because I found a $50 item, and now I find $100 items fairly regularly, like not all the time, but like it's not. I'm not like, oh my god, I've got to leave now. I just like, oh cool, and put it in the box and move on. And so I think my my instincts have gotten just sharper and have expanded as I've gotten better, because a lot of times I just like something will grab my eye and I'll grab it and I'll be like, I don't know why. I'm like, there's something about this and I'm going to figure it out later, and then I'll look it up later. I'm like, and a lot of times it's worth something. I also have an eye for I like the unusual, and whereas a lot of the people who go to the bins are just Amazon people who are just like, if it doesn't have a barcode, they don't care. They just throw it back, even if it's I had a first edition fourth print copy of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath that I sold for like $75 or something like that.
Wow.
Wow.
And and it wasn't even in great shape. It was just like I knew someone would want that, and it just didn't have a barcode on it. Katie, what do you go?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if it's something out of my regular realm, right? Like, so clothing is head, because clothing, I know I've learned brands and then materials and things like that. And you can guess where something's made. If it's somebody's name, even if I don't know them right away, but it's made in Italy and it's like Italian sizing, it's a guess of sort of what the price range is or whatever. But so that's all head stuff, right? That's all learned. But gut stuff, I have to rely on more when I'm in things like housewares or books or things like that, where this just looks too interesting. I'm just going to get it because it's just something that feels like it might be valuable.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That's when I have to use my gut a little bit more. But clothing, I feel like it's 90% stuff that I've learned slowly over time. And then that's it. But it's more fun in the housewares.
But that's a good point about like what your head like, because like CDs I've learned like, oh, this sells, like old 80s soundtracks.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of like soundtracks that were like Japanese horror movie soundtracks.
Oh wow!
And I was just like, thank you. And like they're all like $30, and I sold like a handful.
Oh yeah.
And I was so excited, but no one else wanted them because
no barcode.
Yeah, no. Well, it does. It's just like no one thinks of CDs as valuable, really.
Yeah.
There was only one other guy I fight for CDs at the bins, and you have to be pretty specific about what you're getting because there's so much nonsense. People are like, this Prince album is great. And I'm like, yeah, that's not how things sell.
Right, but anybody can get, yeah. But Joe, you're the one I'm more interested, like, because you do the estate. Like Chris and I feel like we'll go to a place and be in a contained place. But how do you do head and instinct in an estate auction or something like that type world?
Well, I think last week I had those portraits, for example, that I bought, and I just like it's not a I mean, I didn't look to see if she was a listed artist. I just was like, I liked it. I thought that they had a good aesthetic, and I like having, I always like portraits. I like them. They're a good size, and so I just a little bit is the head, like, oh, this is like the work on this is competent enough. But sometimes I go, a lot of times it's just with my gut, and I'm just like, this is something that appeals to me personally, and I think I have a pretty good aesthetic. I have a pretty good eye for stuff like that. So it's not exactly, there's no. I mean, you can't. I mean, if I go to an auction, there's usually time to research stuff. If I go to an estate sale, there's not time to research stuff. I mean, there is, you could sit there and like tap away on your phone, but then you're like missing out on stuff. And I feel like the same way when I go to like a bin store. I'm usually just like, I will sometimes check out stuff or like scan stuff, but a lot of times I'll just be like, yep, like just toss it in there, because at the end. Also, it's like I'd say that's a combination, because at the end of the day, if you go to the bins, you are paying, you know, at most you're paying $3 for an item at a bin store.
Yeah.
So, and you know, when you, and then there's also like you learn certain categories. Like there's things that I think are pretty cool, like the old like school style paper cutters, the guillotines, where they're like
Yes.
pull the shunk, like those are great. I love those. And it turns out that they, you know, I just found one in the bins in Wisconsin for $2. And those you could sell for like $25 to $40 a piece, usually in person. Once you,
What if the
you know,
blade is bad?
it's usually
I have
not.
one, but the blade is bad. I got it at a used art supply place, and I just haven't been able to use it because the blade doesn't cut.
You probably can find somebody to sharpen it for you. I mean, you just need them to like basically like sort of like grind the edge, so it's like,
Yeah,
so
that's what I need.
but that's not, you know, that shouldn't be too hard if you want to keep it. And you know, I don't know if
I do, because they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Those are amazing. I wanted one too. I
do you
want one of
know-
the giant ones.
Do you know how to use those like sharpening sticks that you see chefs kind of like do the?
I've seen them. I am not allowed near something like that
Okay.
because of personal calamity. Like
Or
proneness.
because all of a sudden you become Three Musketeer, and you're like,
Yeah.
fight me.
I would say if there's like a person that's most likely to get injured trying to sharpen a sharp object,
Fair enough. Oh.
that lady. But you know what I just thought is I know that Joanne Fabrics does scissor sharpening for fabric scissors,
Good.
and I'm wondering if they would do it.
if they
Yeah,
don't
they-
do it, they could probably know, like they could probably point you to somebody who could
Tell me who did. Yeah.
just be like, or even like, there's also people that just do professional knife sharpening, or
Yeah.
blade
Oh, yeah.
sharpening. If you take it to like a small engine
Yeah.
place, if they're doing like, they'll like repair lawnmowers and they'll sharpen it there. Like, you're like, I know this is off the beaten path, but you know, for $5,
but
could you sharpen this for me?
$5 could you do the thing right?
Yeah.
That, and I'd rather take it somewhere like that than a big chain, anyways. Because you know, if I take it to Michael's, even though they have them in their framing department, they're going to charge me $25. And I'm
There's,
like, no, it's gonna take-
when I lived in Queens, there was a guy who would show up in a truck and just park for a couple hours at a corner and just kind of announce on Twitter that that's where he was. And I remember being like, holy crap, the guys here, and just like taking my knives down the street wrapped in like just cloth.
Sorry, there was a rogue knife sharpening guy who would roll up
Yeah.
and just park like a food truck and was
Yeah.
like, I'm here to sharpen all your knives.
Yeah.
I had
That
that
guy's
too.
a criminal.
That's almost New York
Crime.
to a T. Like, where just a random thing happened, everyone goes, yeah, that works, and they
That doesn't work.
that's
That's
fine.
criminal. I don't know. I don't know why he's doing that. How much was it?
I can't remember. It was like 15 years ago at least.
It's pretty
Is he
tight.
still doing it? Is he still there?
Well,
I
there was
don't know. I
another.
haven't lived
there
in
was a guy in Brooklyn.
LA.
There's a guy in Brooklyn that would do it as well, and he would come by, and the only this was pre-Twitter. He wouldn't tweet. He would just like, you'd hear ding. He'd like ring a bell, drive a little bit, ding, and you just kind of like, hey, wait,
Like,
I'll be
bring
back.
out your dead. That's
Yeah.
what. Bring out your knives.
Bring out your knives, and he.
It's
Friends.
like,
Yeah.
So would you buy ice cream from an ice cream man, Katie?
Would I? Or would
No,
Kate?
Katie. With Katie. I know you would, Joe, but
If he was also a knife sharpener, absolutely not. If it was like ice cream bars and knives, ice cream bars, knife sharpening, two for one stop shop. No, the answer is no.
I enjoy your hypothetical answer real answer to a hypothetical straw man argument.
No.
Okay.
Don't get your knives sharpened on the street. Is the moral to this story? Everyone, can we
Get your
please?
knife sharpened where you can, when you can. That's
No.
what I say.
Unless you're a lady with no, I don't know.
Like it was on a very public street. There was not. You didn't have to go into an alley. Either like
Or a dark garage.
There's a guy who does knife sharpening at the farmers market in my neighborhood.
That feels fine.
Okay.
But the guy rolling up, hey everybody, I'm here. Bring your knives down.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you think the guy gets his stuff to the knife sharpening booth?
I
He has to
don't
bring-
know.
he
I
has to-
don't
he-
know.
He,
This
has to
is-
drive it.
This is
You're
shocking behavior. You got to make a living. I don't know. It's fine with me. Go for it. I'm just
Yeah.
not coming.
He's just
All cash business, probably a mafia front.
There we go. Criminal.
Francis will show you.
Francis, you're not a criminal.
No.
You are. You're breaking hearts.
Yeah. That's what
Stealing
it is.
people's hearts.
Come on.
Thievery. Heart theft.
All right. I think we've done it once again. Francis, have we done it once again? Oh!
We did it! Yeah!
4 paws, 4 thumbs, and 2 paws up.
We did it!
Yay. So I'm going to do the acapella version of the closing song.
I can't join you on slide whistle because I have a little dog.
Have Francis sing along.
Okay.
Thank you for watching Show and Sell. If you remember it, let's say if you don't, everything's gonna be alright. And if you do, things are gonna be a little bit brighter
for us. There's an
algorithm controlling all of our lives. Thank you for watching Show and Sell. If you remember, ring the bell. Ding! So I just learned that Francis doesn't know all the lyrics to the endings.
Yeah, it's okay. He's about a 6 out of 10.
Come on, he's got a lot on his mind.
No, he clearly does not.
He's trying to start a claw sharpening business. He's gonna bring people around. Gonna do a little
claw sharpening and gelato.
Yes, there you go.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.